says the wisest thing he could do is add additional policies to his banking system as early and as early as possible. Anthony, the question I had for you was typically when and how often are clients adding policies? So, how often do they do it, and what's a good trigger for them to add one?
What I think at the beginning, a lot of times people have a hard time grasping more than one policy.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's you, don't worry about it. Just focus on the policy that you have at hand. And one of the things that I would look at triggering, well, I tell you, I believe that I want to maximize the policy that we do have to ensure that we're maximizing that. But as we have extra cash flow, we get a windfall, we have a raise, maybe we change jobs so we can free up some of that money. That is a great time to look at another policy. And we haven't talked about how long to put the PUAs on for, but sometimes we'll look at what that extra money is. Maybe it's kind of too small to really start a second policy, but oftentimes what we can do is that first policy has been around for a few years. I would say at least 4, hopefully 5 or more. Maybe we drop the PUAs on that one and then we put it into the new one. And you know what we could also do is most of the time, depending on the company, those PUAs are flexible. Meaning, so maybe we've maintained your cash flow and we have that other policy, but now when a mini windfall comes in, now you maybe that's when you pay the PUAs on that first policy.
Yeah, well said. Awesome. I've got more.
Do it. Let's give
Yeah,
it.
page 57. I thought this was funny, man. I read this, and he says, hopefully, I won't have to draw little pictures for this reasoning to be understood. On that same page, he refers to banks as bloodsuckers. You read this page, and I'm like, man, Nelson sounds pretty annoyed here.
Mm-hmm.
And the thought I had is, I completely understand, as I too get annoyed when I have to teach you IBC multiple times a week.
And you got to draw me pictures.
Exactly. Draw little pictures. Here's a bank. Here's a borrower. Here's a saver. So that was a good one. What else we got here? I think that's a lot of mine.
Well,
Ooh,
I think I have one more, and then you can end us with that good one that you gave a ooh for. One thing I wanted to point out of the design on this policy, it was $40,000,
Mm-hmm.
15 going to base, 25 going to PUAs. That's pretty close to a 60-40.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to point out the founder and creator of the infinite banking concept was not doing 90-10s. He was a fan of having a large base. And depending on your situation, you know, we will design a different spread, but we have to look at more than just cash value in the short run, because also what's going to make the bigger impact on your dividends is going to be a higher base premium. Now, right now, we're in a low dividend environment. So the difference between dividends on a higher base and a lower base is still higher with a higher base, but it's not the impact is not as large. However, once dividends start increasing, that spread is only going to increase.
You want to see the entire episode? Click here. If you want to learn how investors use infinite banking to increase their returns and lower their taxes, click here. If you want to see if infinite banking is for you and you have some questions, hop on a discovery call with us and one of our coaches. The link for that will be in the description.